Good evening, Go Mode Podcast, and welcome to the Go Mode Podcast Mentor Tourney 2024. We are just starting off the groups. I believe this is pretty much the first full week of group play for the tournament. Tonight we have functionFox versus Koopstrooper. We got Mr. Angry Pants mentoring with Fox and Sawyer mentoring Trooper. So I'm Radical Sniper 99 or Jesse. I'm joined today by Wackerly for comms, with Mouth
Hello,
here on
hello.
tracking, and we've got Lumaga on the restream. Hello, Wackerly.
Hello, Jesse. How's it going tonight?
I'm doing great. So, what is the Mentor Tourney?
So the Mentor Tourney is a tournament put on by the Go Mode podcast, where intermediate and beginner level runners are paired up with experts in order to get some learning happening and bring more people into the Link to the Past randomizer community.
Exactly. So what we have here is Function and Trooper are both in Discord chat with a mentor. In this case, Mr. Angry Pants and Sawyer. And what they're going to do is they're going to try to help them figure out what to do, where to go, maybe some execution stuff. Depends on the mentor and mentee relationship for that kind of stuff. But it's really, it's an opportunity to learn.
That it is. So we got some good dashing happening on the right with Koopstrooper, some nice tight turns.
Yeah, just syncing up really quick here. Looks like we're there now. So yeah, we got the this first week, first couple of weeks, I believe, and somebody can correct me, is casual boots, and then it'll be what, open?
Open, and then all dungeons the 2 weeks after that.
Okay.
And so for those who don't know what casual boots means, it means the runners start with the sword and the Pegasus boots, and they will have to do the entire escape sequence before they can reach the overworld.
Yeah, this is about generally we got the Kaz Boots tournament going on in the community right now as well. The expected time for that's about a 5:10. Probably going to be a little bit slower here with our runners learning what's going on and whatnot, but expect a good sub 6 minutes to get through this. Definitely a lot of tutorials out there for how to get through the escape. Nice guards having the full magic. One of the really good things to learn is your prize packs. And as you can see, we did get that we got that drop over on Koopstrooper side.
Yeah, that'll come in handy when they get the first item that uses magic, because they'll already have a full magic bar to work with.
Yeah, and realistically, you want to know this kind of stuff while this tournament being Kaz Boots right now, doesn't really, you don't have to worry about stuff like bombs. Oh, and that green guard is really bullying Function there. While we have the boots to get that back of escape item, one of the other common modes in this community can be standard, where we don't necessarily start with the boots. So knowing your prize packs can really help you find out, hey, can I get bombs in here?
Yeah, you are always assured a weapon in a standard setting, but having bombs early would definitely help in most modes. Knowing that you can get them early will definitely be very helpful.
Yeah, so what we would know so far is that the guards dropping that full magic, they're part of the magic pack, and thus, no, they will not drop bombs. And that also applies to those snakes that we're going to find in the back. The only other prize pool that we have access to at this point in time is the rats, and so we will see those soon as well.
And here we are heading into the dark rooms for both players. And in a standard open, you start with a pseudo lamp of sorts. You don't actually have the lamp, but you are given light for this part of the game until you reach the sanctuary. Then they will have to find the lamp on their own.
Well, and there's an interesting little piece with that as well. While we don't have the lamp here in Escape, if you had to come back to Escape, let's say this was a standard mode and you didn't have bombs, if you came back to here with your bombs later, you would still have this free light cone.
Ah, now that is something I didn't know.
But yeah, the question in chat, what about tree poles? Tree poles you don't have access to during the escape sequence. The tree that everybody's used to by Uncle, that is not active during escape. So we cannot get a tree pole to try and get bombs there either. But we do get those 3 bombs in the back of escape, which is very nice. I will try to point out there actually is a way to get bombs before Kakariko, even if you did not get a single bomb in your escape during a Kaz Boots race. Although that is a bottle with a B. Yeah, about a 5:30 for our runners getting out of the escape. Yes, to answer the question in chat, Mentor Tourney is about once a year around this time, sometimes a little bit earlier. It's usually before the big fall tournament of the year, so in this case, it's going to be falling before the main tourney. In years past, it was right before League. But yeah, we run the Go Mode podcast runs this about once a year. And this is more basic modes. They also have frequently run a glitch mode or even a cross keys tournament. That was a tier 2 tree pull right there for Koops, and it was full magics. And I had missed it the first time, but that looks like a single arrow to me. What do you say? What did you see, Wackerly?
That was definitely a single arrow. Which is quite possibly the most useless drop you can find in this game.
But it's a unique drop. It's a unique item.
That's right. There's only one.
So when you hear about a unique item somewhere, it could be that. And that was the 20 rupee at the mushroom spot. Interesting thing about this mode, that is our boot that we already started with.
Ah.
The green 20. Okay, so as you see here with Koops, he's coming out, or they're coming out, and you saw that stack of rocks right next to that fortune teller. If you bonk those rocks, you will always get a bomb. So if you're in a Kaz Boot seed entering CAC and you got no bombs, right there, you get some bombs.
We've got a Master Sword on Koopstrooper there, and a Moon Pearl. Both of those will come in handy. Though seeing an early Master Sword could be cause for concern.
I'll be honest, my Agameter is not too high right now on this one. The fact that we got that Pearl and Glove makes me hopeful that the Hammer or other glove will show up soon.
Yes. Whereas for Aga to be in logic at this point, we still need the lamp, and yeah, actually that's it, just the lamp.
Well, and here's some of the big stuff. So I will say we've gotten 2 bottles with bees. I don't know what types of bees we got, but we are over 500 rupees. Okay, so we got a basic bee for sure. And a gold bee. Okay, so we did get to sell that bee, that gold bee, for the lamp as well. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so One of the things that's a little scary about that always, like that bee does get attracted to the weather vane. So, you always release it a little to the left of the bottle vendor, just in case. Got our first medallion with the Quake off of Sick Kid.
That could be required. That could be not required, depending on what the requirements end up being for Misery Mire and Turtle Rock.
Okay, now, so here we are. We're just finishing up the Kakariko experience. Good equipment to start. Of course, some people are thinking, oh, do we rush Aga? I will say no. My personal feel at this point is you clear out the good stuff. We got a lot of good stuff. Mini Moldorm Cave. Technically Zora's in Logic, and you have Zora money even. So at least South Shore, and I'd probably look to Saha and climbing the mountain, and Aga doesn't even matter, because there's our mitts.
Well, there we go, even better.
A little bit of a time save for Koops there by blind playing race game. Generally, keys modes, it's a little less likely to have something, but works out nicely here. And there's our first map check over on function side. We have Pendant Eastern, Red Crystal at Desert, and a regular Crystal at Hera.
We see Koopstrooper heading over to Mini Moldorm Cave rather than checking the desert items.
Well, we've only got access to Agina, and honestly, Agina's a little slow. So I like the idea of just heading this way, hit the density. Even after this, I still wouldn't hit Agina. Like, you've got plenty more available. And Function's making me a liar.
He's not taking that same risk.
We do get that Desert Ledge Scout, and nothing there. Mini Moldorm Cave, though, did pay out with our Bombos Medallion and our bow. Our first bow, at least. And nothing in Agina. And just a few more bombs. Okay, we got Koops setting up the water walk. So Ice Rod Cave, you just get roughly close to the edge. You don't have to get real close, but you dash out of Ice Rod Cave, and then you jump right here down a vertical like that, or down a horizontal ledge, and you get the water walk.
Great way to get a normally out of the way check. Oh, and looks like we have a hook shot on Lake Hylia. That'll be important later.
And there's the big play there. That is a hammer off of the water walk.
Yes.
Free green potions off of the Waterfall Ferry. And unfortunately, like, I wasn't thinking about the fact that we're kind of tight on money. 535 is good enough for Zora, but that will put Coops and probably Fox both below Pod or Dig Game money after this.
And to only get 20 rupees back hurts.
Yeah, just a little bit. I will say that's not terrible for the overall situation. That extra 20 bucks does mean we could play Aero Game. It's a bit of a rare play for open modes, but 55 rupees is enough to play Aero Game. So we are going to see a little bit of a difference in the play here. That hammer for Coops is really, really going to be helpful here. Being able to do Height Cave into Village of Outcast. Okay, Book of Medora out of Hype Cave. Not a huge play, but it does raise the question, what are our pendants? We have a pendant pod and a green pendant TR with our other 5-6 crystal at Thieves Town. So that book does mean we could get both of our 5-6 crystals.
That could very well be required if progression happens to be in the Pyramid Fairy checks.
Well, and you talked earlier about this idea that Aga is no longer required in this seed. Logically, there could still be a situation where it is required. Oh, nice flute. Okay. But technically, if the 5-6s are not hammerlocked, technically, you could have a hammer at Pyramid Fairy and then logically required beat Aga to get that. It's a mess of stuff. Let's hope for functionFox that is not the case, though, tonight. Because that hammer is buried pretty deep right now.
Yes.
We did get a bottle with a red goo off of Dig Game, so that is our third bottle. Meanwhile, functionFox is in Full Woods, hitting up the middle section first, getting the big key vanilla, and now just taking a Wallmaster back to the front. I will say this seed is starting to shape up pretty fast. We are, of course, still missing the flippers and the mirror for the hook shot, but then besides that, the big thing we're still missing is a fire rod. So we're 3 things really from go, potentially also waiting on a mirror, or waiting on... Yeah, like, those are the 3 big ones to get the hook and potentially be on go. The last question would be Ether for Meyer. Dear Thought Hawk, I would say I would want to see the flippers besides the flute. The longer that flute is, or those flippers remain MIA, I'd be more and more concerned for Fox. If you don't do the water walk early with Ice Rod Cave, it kind of becomes a late play.
Looks like
Like, we have a
functionFox is going to quickly peek Bumper Ledge Cave, which is 10 arrows.
always one of those more annoying checks to have to get to.
Yes.
I mean, what I'll say is, like, one of the big concerns for me right now is just not just this hammer, it's also the info. Coops and Sawyer are well aware of a hook shot on Lake Hylia. functionFox and Mr. Angry Pants do not have any idea that that is there, and that is one of the most important checks for them. I don't know what sends you that way anytime soon. And yes, Pixcalibur, that's pretty much the only way that's the logic for Aga 1 to ever be needed for this seed. And yeah, functionFox can do the water walk. It's just a question of, was that something that they didn't want to talk about at the time? This is one of those things that happens when you're working with a newer runner. Like, Wackley, are you in this tournament? I'm sorry, I don't know everybody in the tournament.
Yes, I am a mentee in this tournament. And to quickly answer Lightstripe's question for sure, yes, functionFox can in fact water walk. He taught me how to do it. So that was definitely a conscious decision not to.
Yeah, like, if Wackerly and I were a mentor-mentee combo, like, one of the things I could say is, like, yo, tell me if I'm completely insane for asking this of you, but, like, are you okay? I'm gonna suggest we do Dark Mire. And you could be like, no, just no.
And I probably would.
And, like, the question becomes, is there a chance to, like, teach something in the moment? Like, there is tech that can be taught between a mentor-mentee in the moment in such a short span. And water walking is definitely one of them. I will say, personally, I've mentored a race this past week, and we did do the water walk for the first time on the fly. Like, it is not one of those texts that is super, super complicated. So definitely a little easier to pick up. And we got blind on the side. Good first two phases. The most important two. This fight, as many of you might be familiar with, is a scripted fight.
Yes, it's completely deterministic. So if you do the same thing every time, you're guaranteed to have the same things happen every time, which is why we call it scripted. Yeah.
And if you're curious about learning the whole fight, if you're starting out, what I recommend is learn the first two phases of the fight. Phase 1 and Phase 2 are the two most important for getting the script. If you're struggling with the third, it's not a huge issue, but at least get those first two down.
Yeah, because that leaves you with only 3 hits that you have to improvise to figure out rather than all 9.
Yeah, the improvisation of the whole fight is really ugly.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I like the pickup of Jeremiah here, because realistically, after this, I would have still done hammer pegs, though.
Yeah, I agree. It's an interesting decision to skip out on that quickly.
Like, I think this is good. Like, you pick up Jeremiah here because of the fact that you're going to go activate your flute. Like, this is a good linking of the two. You need to activate this flute as soon as you can. But I don't see, like, I personally would not hit purple chest and hammer pegs for this. And the reason I would say that is because if that pegs was your mirror, you're gonna hit a lot more time loss then.
Flying giving Fox the runaround. Oh no.
Big chest of Thieves Town was nothing, so not a big problem for Fox not having the hammer. And there's our second shield. I'm not sure what the decision was with the lamp, to be perfectly honest. I'm wondering if Koops was thinking about trying to do a fake powder, but without Samaria, that is not possible. So that might be the idea that was kind of there. Hey, a fourth bottle. For those of you unfamiliar with the fake powder, if you drain your magic meter, and then when you go to Magic Bat, you cast a Samaria block, and right as you hear the buzzer to say no, if you menu and swap to Mushroom, you can immediately get a fake powder instead.
It also works with the fake powder if you're out of magic.
Yeah, you can fake powder, or fake real powder.
Yes.
Okay, so I was curious why we did the fluted to Mire area only to stop at Mire area. Like, I would have still scouted and done Mire Shed before saving and quitting for Desert. Like, I understand the play for Desert here. I also disagree with Agina. I think that you do Desert first regardless. But it's neither here nor there. To Sliver's question in chat, I can think of at least 3 reasons not to do Ice Palace right now. Bad equipment. No flippers. When you need flippers in the seed. And the fact that Hookshot's on Lake Hylia. And is a required item to, or is a potentially required item to beat Ice. Like, Ice just feels further down the line in terms of a check at this moment in time, to me at least.
Now, with fake flippers and some good bomb jumps, you can circumvent those requirements.
Yes, very much so.
But there's always the risk when you play out of logic that you're getting too far ahead of yourself and lose track of what your required items, like where they could be, because they can't be past the requirements.
Yeah, and there we go. There's our mirror, so that's a really nice find. Now, I will say, Koops and Sawyer can get the hookshot now. There is a water walk to get that Lake Hylia. It's annoying to set up, but we could do it. Similar to the water walk we set up in Ice Rod Cave, you can set up another water walk at you could set up a water walk at Skull Woods. I do not know if Sawyer's going to recommend it. I'd be very tempted to, though. I will try to explain it, Hawk. It's not terribly complicated, but it's hard to explain without the screen real estate and the visuals, in my opinion, at least.
So, Lightstrike, to answer your question, Koopstrooper does have one crystal that Fox doesn't. So as a very simple metric, you could consider Koopstrooper ahead. Not to mention that Koopstrooper has more information than, more really good information than what Fox does at this point.
Yeah, from an information completing the seed standpoint, the routes just worked out much better for Koops and Sawyer. Okay, we should check Mire Shed here, hopefully. Our hammer is in the waterfall ferry. Okay, let me try to explain our Skull Woods water walk, because it's a fun one. Quake. Okay, so we're good on the medallion front. Nice to know. Okay, so Skull Woods water walk. There is a hole right next to that front entrance of Skull. That one that has the big chest. Down right is that hole. If you are up against the right side of the terrain there, you can do a down dash along the right side of that hole and bonk right off of it. After you do that, you walk around the hole on the left side and below it, so you don't, like, the big thing is you got to be very close to the edges here, like where you're not skittering on the hole. And then you go all the way over to where the screen is that we would do a current jump to get over to right side Dark World. Instead, you go and look for that horizontal ledge above there and jump down off of that, and you would be in the water walk state. As I said, it's a lot more complicated to explain than show. Like, I would prefer showing it. It's a lot of time investment as well. No lie. But never mind, there's our flippers! We're one on M from Go, Wackerly.
That we are. So at this point, we are just missing the fire rod at this point, right?
Oh, sorry, 2 from Go.
Yeah, we still need to grab the hook shot.
No. Samaria and Fire Rod.
Mario and fire rod, okay.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
And I'm a mentee, don't blame me. Yeah, Hawk, I hope that Fox thinks to rush those flipper checks, because that will be what will help catch him up.
The one concern I have here is whereas Sawyer and Koopstrooper, their first thought of getting flippers is let me get the hook shot. If I'm functionFox and Mr. Angry Pants, my first thought getting flippers is keep going up the mountain to Hera.
Yes.
Like, that's your crystal, you're going to clear it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to point this one out now, and I know it's something that a lot of mentees do. When you come for Swamp Palace and you go in the Dark World portal at 4, do not go right a screen, just go down. You do not need to go right from the screen there. Hey, there's the mirror shield. I don't think we're getting it.
No, most likely not.
I will also say I have this is my own personal soapbox. I do recommend turn on reduce flashing. I do not, I personally have any issues with flashing lights or epilepsy, but if you could, I highly recommend it. I think it is a great accessibility feature that was added to this game, and I just highly recommend it now that I see functionFox has it for the Ether tablet. Yeah, I don't think this is a bad play for Fox. What I think it is just more the fact that it's a time investment for the climb as well.
Especially when you have an unfortunate fall.
Yeah. Very nice bomb jump setup there. And there is our map and our compass on this floor. Oldorm, of course, being a right jerk there.
Yeah, nothing more annoying than the jump down and then the bounce back up to the ledge.
Okay, so luckily for Fox there, was able to get through that kill very nicely. And there's our second item. I will point out real quick, we unfortunately did enter the rage phase there. Moldorm is a 6 fighter sword slash, 6 master sword slash, Unfortunately, Master Sword and Fighter Sword do the same damage to Moldorm on slashes. So that intro poke that we had on Fox's side, really like what I would recommend to a runner is to then follow up with a second slash, so then you can do 2 spins to kill him. And here's the good news for Fox. Gonna see that hook shot.
Yep, there it is.
Hopefully does continue to do the rest of these checks, though, and gets the hammer first.
A nice bomb diver down from Koopstrooper there.
Definitely a form I am not familiar with.
Yeah, I've not seen that set up myself.
Everybody's got their way. I've seen only a few people do that one.
Fox is indeed heading toward the waterfall.
Yep, unfortunately, was just going to head a slightly less efficient direction for it.
Yes.
I will say to the discussion about the damage tables, one of the hardest things to realize is that Light World bosses don't make sense for swords. Master Sword and Fighter Sword on Light World bosses are kind of silly.
Gold sword spins are kind of silly as well.
They can be, yes.
Fox not even picking up his refund.
I mean, at this point, the money is pretty good for Fox. Okay, Wackerly, where are you headed after this? For Koopstrooper.
That's a very good question. I've been mainly focusing on Fox at the moment. Let's see. If I were Koopstrooper, my next instinct would be... Has Koop done any of the mountain?
Has not.
That would be where I would be looking.
I think that's a safe play. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
The only other play, and I think this is what we're going to see from Koops, is ice.
And you'd be correct.
What I will say is there's something very safe about what functionFox is doing here, saying I'm going to play for the mountain first. We're 2 from go. I think there's a good enough chance that at least Fire Rod or Samaria is up on the mountain. So why not?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, even after Ice Palace, like, maybe Koops gets the Fire Rod, maybe Koops gets Samaria. So could go beat Skull or Mire, but realistically, there is a better chance that our next play is probably the mountain on Koop's side as well.
And there will be the Fire Rod.
Yep.
Right on schedule.
We got a cane. Just not the right color cane.
Oh, and there's the Ice Rod.
I
Hopefully
mean,
not required, but...
definitely not required.
Oh yeah, I suppose, eh?
We know it's not at this point. What we can say is Go mode is Samaria. Samaria is required to enter TR.
There we go. There's the Ice Palace bomb jump from Koopstrooper. Which allows you to skip ahead in the dungeon with the blocks already facing the right way to skip directly to Cold Stare.
Very nice silver arrows. But yeah, this is the big advantage for functionFox right now. Like, definitely down because of the Thieves' Death, and still down the Swamp Palace. But what we're able to do for functionFox's side is, like, maybe we're able to skip some stuff later on. Like, left side swamp is a lot easier to skip in this case. Honestly, I would have taken the save and quit. Get the full health refill off of Old Man.
Yeah, it's a risky play going where he's going on 2 hearts. On 1.5 hearts.
Looks like we're just going to get Saha here. Wackerly, we're running out of good checks.
We are running out of good checks. So at this point, we are looking at finding Samaria in some of the more isolated places, if I'm keeping up properly.
I mean, I will say there is a good play. I don't love it, but it's probably our best bet after this stuff. Like, as we said, I think realistically Koops is going to do Mountain, but in terms of good checks left, I'm thinking Pyramid Fairy into Pod would be my upcoming play, given all the knowledge I have.
Yeah, that seems like a fairly good bet to me.
And I missed the count here. Do you know if there's an item still left in Skull Woods?
I missed the count as well, so I can't tell you.
Okay.
Could Kane be on peg? Kane cannot be on peg because that would require the Kane to get the green pendant.
Oh no, we got
Oh,
deaths on both sides. We had a fairy though on both sides. Okay. But down goes Cold Stare. Okay. We are gonna flute away. Return trip for blind, maybe? Oh. Now we're getting some potions on Coop's side.
not a bad play if it prevents death.
So I'm a little surprised, but functionFox is going back for that Thieves Town big chest that we missed earlier. We know it's nothing, so not really going to help. This is kind of drawing dead on that check, but understand the temptation to be a little bit safer. Now, there is something interesting with this play, by the way. Now, we died to blind, so Wackerly, you know what we could have done?
We could have charged straight to blind.
Yeah, so
But-
why would we pick up blind again?
Because blind starts in a different position that is a lot more difficult to handle if you go directly to him. Whereas rescuing him again resets the script so that Fox can have a fresh start at it.
Exactly. So there is a chance for the blind script to live again. Definitely a smart tactic, especially if you're already going to go for the Thieves Town big chest.
Now, the blind reset is something I learned about recently. Is that a vanilla mechanic, or was that added into the randomizer?
I believe that's a vanilla mechanic.
Really?
I believe so. Can't say I remember too well, because if I take a blind death, I probably don't want to do it again.
It's the reason why Coop didn't Harapot. I think possibly may have picked up a item off the slot 0 enemy, which would have thrown off the Harapot, but I wasn't watching at that particular moment to confirm that.
And I mean, Coop did do the the Harapot the second time.
Yeah.
Might not have had a bomb. Might be the other issue.
Yeah, that could also be. Given the low bomb count, I'd say that'd be pretty likely, actually.
And Moldorm claims victims again today. I will say, for as, functionFox had been behind, but some of these checks could really start paying out. The fact that the Death Mountain play leading to Fire Rod and a Tempered Sword and half magic before Ice Palace is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we're now playing for Purple Chest and Bombos Tablet before Swamp is also a slight benefit.
For sure. If one of those leads to Samaria, then that will make very short work of Ice Palace altogether.
Yeah, and I will be very concerned if I'm Koops about going to Pod at this rate if it's on one of these checks.
So I see chat explaining the mechanics behind Harapot and what can mess it up and cause you to have to leave the screen or mirror out. Another thing to point out is that fairies never land, so they always screw up the bomb jump if you happen to get one off the mini Moldor.
And that becomes a very big issue with the Paradox Cave bomb jump more than anything. That one always gets me.
Yeah, I had that happen to me recently myself.
Back to 0 bombs for Koops. I might have used that bomb to get my that cave. There's a cave right here on the lower floor of Paradox where you can there's a shop. You need a bomb to get it.
Yes, Koops did do left side swamp.
Honestly, if I'm in Kaz Boots, though, and I'm doing a Harapot, by the way, I just do hook speed Harapot. That's my favorite.
Fair enough. I haven't mastered that one myself. Can you hookshot a fairy? That will not solve the problem.
What I'll say, Hawk, is what you want is more tricks in your bag. If you can do a Harapot with just bombs, you've got enough. If you can do if you can do a diver down with just bombs, or whatever trick just with the most basic equipment, that gives you the most versatility, like a ton of versatility. It's never a question of knowing all the ways to do something, it's knowing at least one. Like what I would always say is you don't need to know the specialized trick. Like, if you know Samaria Diver Down, that's great. I prefer Samaria Diver Down. But Samaria Diver Down requires a Samaria. You don't always have Samaria.
Yes.
You always have bombs. Unless you're Koopstrooper right now, I guess.
Yes. You could be in the unfortunate situation where you used it up somewhere else. But no, it's a great point that if there's more than one setup for doing something, I personally would recommend learning more than one. Because that's just an extra trick you have in your back pocket.
Okay, so unfortunately, none of this is really paid out for functionFox. We'll see where they go next. Koopstrooper, meanwhile, has pretty much gone through all the basic stuff available. I'm curious what's the next play. Oh, Skullwoods, of course. Forgive me, I'm not thinking straight. Obviously, it's the crystal, right?
That would be the most immediately beneficial thing, yes. Who wants to learn 100 ways to do Ganon? Don't remind me that that's something I still need to learn.
Learning the 1-in-1 is not a quick endeavor. And this might be Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, I'd say you're right.
And once again, this is nothing against our runners. Thank you for functionFox and Koopstrooper for agreeing to be on Restream tonight. I personally just recommend consideration for the light flash off. Personally, I prefer it, and I know a lot of people probably do. Reduce flashing is just such an amazing feature in this randomizer.
Agreed.
Unfortunately, Koopstrooper getting grabbed by the Wallmaster there.
Quick lens check from Fox.
Reduced flashing is actually an option on when you download the seed. So when you're picking your sprite, one of the toggles right below the sprite selection and all the other stuff is reduced flashing.
And that was a Sumerion Pyramid Ledge for Fox, by the way.
Pyramid Fairy paying out today. This it's 5-5 on the crystal count. Ice is definitely a longer dungeon than Skull. But I will say this race is starting to shift over to functionFox and Mr. Angry Pants.
Yeah, it's really going to be a close one for sure.
It really comes down to where is the next play for Koops and Sawyer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Hawk has a great point in that Fox doesn't need to do any of the dungeon checks. He can go directly to Cold Stare.
Yeah, and there's always some consideration for, how you want to route ice.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in go mode like this, do you even look for anything? The fact that we're silvers and tempered sword means that, we're not going to worry about finding the big key or a sword or silvers or anything in this dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
If you can guarantee getting the big key on your route, it can be faster. There we go. I was like, oh, we got it right, please. Yep. Sliver with the hottest of takes. Realistically, time of doing a Ice Palace Bomb Jump is actually like Ice Palace Bomb Jump just for Cold Stare is actually a pretty quick kill. Sliver's not wrong in what he's saying. What makes a Samaria Ice Palace fast, especially, is the routing to full clear the dungeon more than anything else. But yeah, it's 6 crystals for Koops, 5 for functionFox, but here comes the Cold Stare fight. Just a little bit of cool trickery for that fight, by the way. If you do spin up and to the left when Cold Stare splits, getting Fire Rod splash shots up in that top left corner are actually a lot more reliable.
Give me a second to just write that one down.
Yeah, and to what's going on in chat, by the way, what I'll say is Sliver's really pointing out a really nice thing when you're in go mode. Go moding Ice Palace, like, it opens up that those possibilities to make this faster. Where it, where it becomes more interesting is like, oh, do I have, am I looking for a sword? Am I looking for silvers? Maybe I still want to clear checks in ice. But yeah, functionFox and Mr. Angry Pants in the lead now. Massive shift just given the play for Pyramid Fairy here. We did not have the Godmire. By the way, do not hookshot that pot in the Mire spike room. Unfortunately, it doesn't really help you in terms of time. You might think it's safer. It's also not safer. You're still going to take the same damage.
That's interesting. I would have been sure to that would have saved you at least one hit, but still take the same amount of damage.
Because what you're going to do is you're going to go over to the pot, pick it up. By hookshotting, what you've done is you've actually set up the iframes, that you have iframes right as you're trying to hit the switch, and Link with iframes will not activate a switch.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're right, Sliver. Maybe it is one more heart of damage, but it's time. It's the time loss that bothers me more.
Okay.
But that is the lobby big key for Meyer for functionFox. We're on our way to Vitreous, and unfortunately, this was the worry I had for Koops and Sawyer. This is going to be the pod play.
Unfortunate.
And yeah, I see why. It's the combination here. You've got Saha's Closet, you've got Pod, you've got Eastern. Like, this is a lot of checks. And unfortunately, you know, for functionFox and Mr. Angry Pants, they routed in Pyramid Fairy at the right time. I will say, Sliver, I probably would have routed in Pyramid Fairy after Bombo's tablet. Like, it was kind of on the way. I don't know if it changes anything with this race, but it definitely would have been a nice play in the moment.
Very quick Vitreous fight from Fox.
Love those silver arrows.
That's what I call the shooting gallery boss at that point.
And yeah, here we go. We're heading to Ganon's Tower. 22 locations and all that fun stuff. Okay, what's your kind of GT route, Wackerly?
The way I route GT is I do what Fox is doing right now. I check Hope Chest, then Mirror, and start doing left-hand side.
Then, it doesn't matter what you get in Hope?
If I get a small key and the big key, then I would head directly up. If I don't find both of those, then it's off to left side to if I've got the big key, get at least that key drop. If I don't have the big key, I'm still looking.
If you get a small key, though, you're not going to go to Compass Room?
If I get a small key, No, I probably wouldn't. I would get my key drop from the mini Helmosaurs.
No. What I mean is like compass room is the full right play or the right
Ah,
side.
ah.
Or are we just avoiding right side?
Oh, right side is a last resort for me.
Okay.
The, the only way that right side isn't last is if I get to randomizer room, which is the room to the left of all the warp tiles. If I don't find Big Key there and I do not have silvers, I'm avoiding Ice Armos and I'm going right side at that point. But don't listen to me. I am a mentee, not a mentor.
No. This is honest questions. There is no judge. I'll judge you for dodging Ice Armos. I will not judge you for going Hope left. What I like to say to mentees is you have a play in mind and you have a route in mind. I would want to minimize your mirrors. Like, we don't want to go back and forth a ton. But hopeful left is a legitimate route. I will say, if you've gone all the way to rando room and you still don't have Big Key and then you mirror to go right side because you don't have silvers, I think that might be a little iffy. Like, that would be my complaint. Not everything else you just said.
Well, as Sliver correctly points out, I am in fact a coward and I hate Ice Armos. So I will avoid that like the plague. A nice dash block from Fox skipping the warp tile there. And now we have Fox starting his ascent.
I believe that was 16, by the way, for people who were keeping track.
To answer your question, Kaneko, I don't believe that Coop would go to Magic Bat next.
The only problem is that everything looks bad.
Yes.
If I'm Cooped. There just isn't a play that looks nice. Like, Magic Bat's pretty much just as efficient as any of the other plays really available to them. And it's just so easy to get to Magic Bat with that flute.
Fair point.
Yeah, and to what Sliver said, like, GT routing is definitely a feels thing. Like, whatever route you like is appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
It's about finding what's efficient for you to do and, like, within reason. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, the extra mirrors is always kind of shaky in my book. Like, I used to be a hopeful left person, so I get that play, the inclination. And now we're getting some beeps. little bit worrisome on the health. The silvers are just not working out there.
Excellent. Fox going for the Kool-Aid. Smart play.
Yeah, and the other part of the tournament, so going over like pairings and Swiss and whatnot, what'll happen is that after we finish the opening 6 weeks where they play, they'll get sorted into 4 brackets based on their records throughout the opening groups. So like the top so many people will play in a gold sword bracket, and it helps keep skill also kind of consistent there as well. And here is that powder play.
Well, color me slightly surprised, but yeah, it turns out I was dead wrong.
Like, one of the questions is to always ask yourself, what's efficient? Like, what can I get to quickly? And what can I loop in faster? So, like, Pyramid Fairy is the right play, and it's definitely one of our denser plays, and that's why we're going to it now. But in the moment, it was definitely slower than a one-off, like, Magic Bat.
Fair enough.
Like, I can definitely see the play for Bat before this, given the position we're in. So, functionFox and Mr. Angry Pants are about to drop in on Ganon. Meanwhile, that is go mode for Koopstrooper and Sawyer.
Now, Jesse, I haven't studied the Ganon fight as well as I should. Can you describe what Fox's plays are here?
Sure. So, Ganon fight in general, it is a 4-phase fight. With the Tempered Sword, it is 12 swings for phase 1, 12 for phase 2, 3 for phase 4, and then at this point it'll be 4 silvers for phase 4. It is possible with Master or Tempered Sword or Butter Sword to get through them in one cycle each. So we are into phase 3 right now, where Ganon will stomp and remove the ring around the arena. And then we'll be into the silvers. And yeah, I'll echo what Sliver's saying about the route of this seed. If I was in, like, I know some people are thinking like, oh, you could have done Pyramid Fairy after Swamp, like functionFox and Mr. Angry Pants did. And yeah, they could have. But one of the things that's really important about that route is at the time, Koops and Sawyer had a lot more overworld that was denser. When functionFox and Mr. Angry Pants got to Swamp, they had already done Mountain. But yeah, get your GGs in chat for functionFox and Mr. Angry Pants. Finishing first with a 125.56. So yeah, like, from their perspective, you know, Sawyer and Koopstrooper, you finish off Swamp Palace, and what's your play? It's Ice Palace, it's Mountain, it's a lot of other stuff. Pyramid Fairy is slow by comparison for 3 checks, so it makes a lot of sense why they would have dodged that play at the time. Whereas functionFox and Mr. Angry Pants, you know, they finish off Swamp, and what had they already done? For them, you know, they had done Skull, they had done the Mountain. They hadn't done Ice yet, but, you know, maybe they're hoping for Samaria. That can be a blessing and a curse waiting for Samaria in this game. But we are now joined by functionFox. GG.
Hello, thank you, GG.
Good work, me old son.
I couldn't let you down. Oh,
So
man, that is my first sub 90.
Very nice.
Well done.
So, big difference in this seed is, of course, that Cane of Samaria out of the Pyramid Fairy. Really,
we were kind of debating on whether or not to go Ice first or Pyramid Fairy first. And I'm kind of glad that we chose Pyramid.
Yeah. It was definitely a big question mark and worked out very nicely in your favor. We were a little concerned early with not doing the water walk.
Well, I actually had more, you know, like, other concerns on my mind. I think at the point we were discussing whether or not having made a break for Mountain early would have been a good play or no. Because we had access to Mountain like super early, and I could just go through the room darks. So, but yeah, I think early on we didn't do Water Walk because Hobo would have been entirely out of logic. Waterfall Fairy would have been totally out of logic. Zora would have been totally out of logic. So we decided to stay in logic.
I will only offer the slightest correction to that. Zora was in logic. You did have a glove.
Right.
But fair.
Yeah.
You know, balancing logic and out of logic checks is very much a skill. We were a little concerned given that hammer and the knowledge of hook. That was the big one. We were like, we weren't sure when you get to see that hook shot. Luckily, after you got those flippers and did Hera, you were kind of like, you guys beelined the Zora area.
Oh yeah, we absolutely did. As soon as we got that, we were like, yeah, we're going to do all of the water checks, the flipper checks now. Oh my goodness.
So here's a question for you,
Yeah.
Fox. I know you had a seed recently where you ended up last locating Ice Rod in Pyramid Fairy. How much did that influence your decision to go to Pyramid?
I would say about 97.5%.
I wondered.
Recency bias is real. And really, it is that simple sometimes. There are people who definitely get, you have something go wrong or right in one seed, and it influences you out multiple seeds. So,
oh, absolutely.
And yes, the unknown hat is armor. So I'm guessing this is race 1 for you, or?
Yes, this is my first race. I believe I have a race coming up shortly this week with Fleshian.
Well, best of luck on that race.
Definitely.
So any big takeaways for you on this race in terms of learning and whatnot?
In terms of learning, it was more reinforcement than it was learning, really, because I did a lot of practicing over the last month or two in preparation for this, and working with Bide and Mr. Ingergantz on different things, execution, routing, and this was kind of a bit of a culmination of that, trying to just like get everything all together in one tight package to see if I could, like how well I could pull it off. And they said that they believed in me. I, took that to heart, and I gunned it. I did as best as I could.
Very nice.
Well, it certainly paid off.
Yeah. It definitely shows. If you'd seen some of the shenanigans that happened before this point, yeah, you'd be able to tell.
Meanwhile, Coops and Sawyer are, of course, in the GT basement looking for that GT big key. Looks like they're doing that hopeful left play. Definitely one of the more common, this is nothing derogatory about this, but a much more common mentee route. I've definitely noticed mentees do not like right side GT.
Well, as a friend once told me, it's never right side, never do full right.
I've had friends tell me a lot of things in this game. I don't know if I always trust them.
Yeah, that one I'm definitely taking with a bit of a grain of salt. But yeah, the times that I've seen it on left side versus right side has always leaned more towards left.
That's a numbers game, though.
Yeah.
Like half the checks are left side, or like, what do you call this? Is this left side or right side right now?
This is just basically the conclusion to either side.
See, and that's the thing, is then you're looking at, 9 checks on, or 10 checks on the left side versus the 4 on the right. So Yeah, nobody does tile first trip. If you do tile first trip, you're memeing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say watch this one back for sure. There's definitely some stuff to see. It's always fun to watch back. You can also get a lot just from seeing how other people play. Like, this is a perfect avenue for that.
Oh, definitely. I'm definitely going to be reviewing this and seeing what I did right, seeing what I did wrong, how I can improve.
Yeah, the only thing I said, the one thing I said was enable to reduce flashing.
Yeah, that came up a couple times.
Both of you had it on or didn't have it on.
I'll be sure to fix that before the next one.
Attaboy.
It's not a requirement. Like, I know no tournament or any body says you have to do it. I just find I think it's pleasant. I don't know. I've said it's my personal soapbox, my personal hill to die on. I will say, unfortunately, the Lambda 2 is a bit of an adventure on your end, but pretty strong there on Koops.
Yeah, that was a bit of a... Me and Lamo have a love-hate relationship.
Welcome to every Zelda player's life, both Rando and NMG. I will say the seed was nice with the bottles, all 4 free.
Oh yeah, they came up super early. I was kind of surprised, actually.
Well, no wonder I can't find any bottles. You're hoarding them all.
I'll sell you one for 100 rupees.
Yeah, but I'm gonna throw bees at you first.
By the way, I know there's a lot of mentees watching this and technically mentors, but to both groups, what you're seeing from Koopstrooper and Sawyer, I highly recommend every team take this style for this tournament. Regardless of where you are in terms of the race and you see your opponent finish, try to finish them out. This is the reps that you're seeing here, or the rep you're seeing for Koops and Sawyer climbing GT here is very important. This is pretty much the hardest part of the game. You will get a lot out of doing this climb every time, regardless win or lose. Be careful.
Not like this.
Good. Pulled it back.
And yeah, maybe we don't like. Some people do not monitor race rooms. I will say that as well is true. As Bitey's pointing out, like you might not know if you're not watching the race room, and everybody's different on that regard. And thanks to Lumaga for like letting us, continue going even after the race is ostensibly over for a while. Like it's very much appreciated to keep the restream up. But here we go. We're on to the Ganon fight. Koops does have that butter sword, so it is just 6 of those swings for phase 1 and phase 2. Just a little bit easier. And we're just going to go burn a strat.
Where was Burna, out of curiosity?
That is a good question.
I remember seeing a cane and going, that's a cane, but not the right cane. Ice?
Not the right one, yes.
Ice, maybe?
That would make sense, yeah.
Because they definitely had it when they were on Dark Death Mountain, because they did Spike Cave.
Yeah.
And there we go. There is the 4th silver arrow into Ganon for Koopstrooper and Sawyer. Just needing to cross that bridge. And no, it is not possible to mirror out of Ganon. Koopstrooper finishing with an official time of 1:43.04. GG's.
Hey, what's up?
Yo, GG, as we are now joined by Koopstrooper.
Hey, it's me. Hello.
Yes, well done.
GG.
GG's Fox. Crazy
Thank
time.
you.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was my first sub 90.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you like find the cane really early?
Yeah, we found it right after finishing Swamp.
Ah, sheesh. Okay. Yeah, we did Eastern and Palace of Darkness before getting the cane. And we also did Smith Chain and a whole bunch of other stuff before ending it to finding it. So big time sync going into that last item.
Yeah, we were discussing how the routing kind of worked out. Your route early really was strong. we didn't talk about it really with Fox, but the blind death on Fox and Mr. Angry Pants' side, combined with you having the early hammer, was really
The
massive.
early hammer was huge. I got
Yeah,
them from
and-
like, out of logic, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And really, like, we thought this was kind of a dagger early in some regards, but really what kept it close was the fact that the cane just didn't show up, and then towards the end, you're both looking for cane, and when functionFox got the hammer and the hook, really decided, I'm not gonna rush Swamp or anything. Found the way back up to the mountain. So by the time Swamp was done, was like, well, what am I gonna go do? At this rate, I've done the mountain. I could go to Ice. I could go to Pod and Eastern, but why not go to Pyramid Ferry before Ice? And it really paid out. Meanwhile, on your side, you finish Swamp Palace and you have the mountain, Ice,
I have
Pod,
to
Eastern,
do Ice without
everything.
Icebreaker.
Yeah, like you just had everywhere else to go and no reason to send you to Pyramid Ferry at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it made complete sense why you kind of got diverted away from Pyramid for that long.
Yeah, it's just the way it goes sometimes.
Yep.
But, fun race for sure. And GG's.
Oh, definitely. GG's.
Maybe next time I won't get wall mastered in Soulless twice.
He was just giving you a friendly hand hug, that's all.
Friendly hand hug, that's right. The first time I was like, oh my goodness. I felt like they had already did the grab animation. But, I just gotta give him a little bit of personal space.
So, were there any other questions either of you had, or things you wanted to talk about before we started closing up for tonight?
I guess for me, I don't think so. I feel like I did a lot of practice for execution wise going into this because obviously I'm a mentee, so I'm pretty new to all of the speedrunning. But I guess questions, what you're thinking about, in regards to the podcast or in regards to learning the game?
Oh, it's just general question.
General question.
Yeah. If you had anything you wanted to talk about.
What was your Ganon's tower number?
I don't guess.
Oh, you don't guess?
No.
Okay.
I'm anti-fun.
I guess no questions for me then.
Yeah, nothing here.
Awesome. Well, as it says on the screen here, you can see all the races that are scheduled. People are scheduling races all the time because there's groups and people have a lot of racing to do. So, like the chickens, there's a lot of them. Check the schedule. If you want to get into any of this stuff, Wackerly, this was your first comm. I think Malkier's new, at least tracking on the Link to the Past side of things. Lumaga done restreaming before, so always nice to have that happen. If you want to get into restreaming, though, definitely talk to people. We would love to have more restreams for this tournament. If you want to learn how to comm, join, track, whatever, there's people here willing to help.
That's absolutely right. Yeah, certainly my first time calming, and I don't see a message saying that I've been banned from ever doing it again, so I had fun.
Nice.
You were quick to laugh at that, Fox.
It's funny.
No, they only show the band messages like once their podcast is over.
Ah, okay, so it's yet to come. Got it.
But yeah, if you did not join the tournament this year and want to maybe join in a future year, this is pretty much a once-a-year tourney. But the community as a whole would love to teach anybody. You might not be part of this mentee class, but there is always a chance to get into the community and learn and play the game. And, there's so many avenues for doing so. And we're only apparently a couple of months away from main tourney stuff. So, plenty of time to start learning this game. And yes, reach out to people who are in this community. People love to help people learn. Bitey posted in chat that just DM him. There are so many people who just want to hear from you and are willing to help. If you want to get into rando racing, there is a lot of people here who just would say, talk to me and we will work on it.
Yeah, and I'll say, as a mentee, everybody I've worked with has been absolutely wonderful and very patient.
Oh, absolutely.
So, can't recommend it enough.
But yeah, I guess that'll do it for us. I got nothing else. Wackerly, you got anything?
I don't think I do, no. Other than good race to you both.
Thank you very much. GG's.
Thank you.
And I guess with that, have a great rest of your night, everybody. Thanks for watching.